The sacroiliac joint, which connects the spine to each hip, can cause pain in the lower back, pelvis, groin, and the leg due to abnormal motion at the joint. An estimated 15 to 30% of lower back pain cases originate at the sacroiliac joint. There are numerous muscles that connect to the sacrum and hip bone. They help to support the pelvis and the sacroiliac joint. If these muscles are poorly conditioned or unable to adequately support the sacroiliac joint and the pelvis, pain may develop. Most pain that stems from the sacroiliac joint, also called the SI joint, can be managed or treated using non-surgical methods, including physiotherapy, manipulation, and exercises. This video previews a well-rounded exercise program for SI joint pain relief, which typically includes a combination of muscle stretches and strengthening exercises. These exercises are designed to restore natural movement of the joint by relaxing tensed muscles and ligaments that limit natural motion at the joint, and conditioning the surrounding muscles and ligaments to better support the joint. It is recommended that you consult either a doctor or physiotherapist before starting any new exercise program to ensure that such exercises will not cause further exacerbation of pain. Before starting any corrective exercises, it is helpful to understand the anatomy and function of the SI joint. The SI joints connect the triangular bone at the bottom of the spine, that is the sacrum, with both hip bones. The main function of the SI joint is to absorb pressure transmitted between the upper and the lower body. For example, the SI joint helps absorb shock placed on the lower body with movements such as walking, running, and jumping to reduce the pressure felt in the lower spine. The joint typically has very little motion, allowing small movements to stabilize the pelvis when walking, bending forward or backward, and twisting the spine. There are several muscle groups that originate at the sacrum and the hip bones. These muscles help provide stability for the pelvis. Reducing tension in these muscles can help to reduce pressure on the SI joint and across the lower back. Group of muscles that you need to work on if you suffer from SI joint pain, including the hip adductors, the inner thigh muscles, the hip abductors, muscle on the outside of the thighs, the gluteal muscles, hamstrings, and the quadriceps. It is best to start your SI joint exercise session with the easiest possible move. This is just good injury prevention because the body's tissue need to be warmed up before the joints can be safely stressed. Warming up also provides a change to check your pain barometer or those feelings and sensations that help you to put safety limits on what you allow yourself to do. We should then go ahead to foam roll and loosen up these tight muscles. We first foam roll the adductors, that is the inner thigh muscles. And then we can foam roll the abductors, the outer thigh muscles. We can then foam roll the glutes, including the glute maximus, glute medius, and the piriformis. Because the piriformis muscle is deep to the gluteus maximus, it is much more effective to loosen up the muscle using a trigger point ball. You can perform this on the floor or against the wall. Then go ahead and foam roll your hamstrings, and then your quadriceps. The butterfly stretch is one of the best stretches for the adductors. Start by lying on your back with your feet flat on the floor. Tilt your feet so that the outside rests on the floor, put the bottom of your feet together and drop the knees to open up the pelvic region. You should feel a stretch in your groin muscles as you hold the position for 15 to 30 seconds. Take a few deep breaths, then exhale to pull your legs back into the starting position. Repeat 6 to 10 times. Stretching the abductors can help to release chronic tension that may be at least partially responsible for your routine SI joint misalignment. Start in the supine position on the floor, bend one knee at 90 degrees. Internally rotate that knee, use both hands, pull the leg in towards you, diagonally across your body. You are stretching the abductor by internally rotating and adducting your hip. Stay in this position for as long as it takes until you feel relaxation of the abductors, including the glute medius and the piriformis. And then repeat the same on the other side. The function of the glute maximus is hip extension, So to stretch, you need to flex your hips. In the supine position, gently grasp one knee and bring it towards your chest. Don't worry if you don't have to get your knees all the way to the chest. Instead, go only as far as you can without pain. Hold the position for 15 to 20 seconds and then set your foot back down on the floor, and then repeat on the other side. Because you are doing this in the hopes of alleviating SI joint pain, the safest way to get into double knees to the chest position is by bringing one leg up at a time. A simple hamstring stretch consists of sitting on a raised platform or chair, with one leg resting on another, straight in front of the body. In this position, reach forward to the toes and gently stretch the hamstring muscles. Hold the stretch for 15 to 30 seconds. Then alternate legs to stretch both hamstrings 5 times. There are a number of ways to safely and effectively stretch the hamstrings. Which stretch works best is often a matter of personal preference. There are many ways to stretch your quadriceps, but I find this the most intense and hence the most effective. Take a half kneeling lunge position on the ground with your rear foot resting on the wall behind you. Make sure you maintain a neutral spine position throughout the stretch. And then repeat on the other side. Finally, some common strengthening exercises for SI joint pain. As far as possible, I will demonstrate unilateral exercises that challenge one side of your body at a time. This is really to prevent muscle imbalances from developing because each side of your body is forced to bear the load independently. A common remedy for a misaligned SI joint is to reset it by igniting the adductors. Begin in a supine position with your knees bent at 90 degrees and your feet flat on the floor. Place a soft ball between your knees, very gently squeeze it, and then slowly release. Do 3 sets of 12 repetitions. If you like, you can also try the Copenhagen Plank. In the side plank position, place the top leg on the bench with the bottom leg under the bench. Lift the hip up until your body is in a straight line. Keep the lower leg off the floor. Raise your lower leg to meet the top one. Perform 3 sets of 12 repetitions and then repeat on the other side. Abduction strengthening. Lie on your back with your knees slightly bent and the resistance band around the knees. With a neutral spine and engage your core. Slowly and gently push the knees apart to strengthen the outer thigh and your buttock. Hold momentarily and then release. Repeat these 3 sets of 12 repetitions. You can strengthen the glutes using unilateral glute bridge. Lie on your back with your knees bent, feet shoulder width apart and 12 to 6 inches from the glutes. Lift your right leg so that it is straight up at hip height with your foot flexed. Keeping your upper back on the floor, engage your glute, drive through your left heel and raise your hip off the ground until your knee, hips and shoulder form a straight line. Keep your core engaged the entire time. Pause at the top, squeezing your glutes for 1 or 2 seconds, then lower back down to start. Complete 3 sets of 12 repetitions and then repeat on the other side. And you can effectively strengthen your hamstrings using a gym ball. Lie down on your back flat on the floor and place one heel on the gym ball. Next, raise your hip so that they are in line between your knees and shoulders. Begin the curl by rolling the ball backward towards your butt so that your feet are flat on the ball and knees extended towards the ceiling. Reverse the movement back to the starting position. Perform 3 sets of 12 and then repeat on the other side. The bodyweight squat is a great way to strengthen your thighs. These functional exercises can be performed virtually anywhere with no equipment and little space. And because it is such a basic movement, the benefits will carry over into everyday's life. Finally, some spinal mobility work to mobilize your spine. Spinal twist. Start in a supine position with your knees bent at 90 degrees. Twist to one side, hovering your knees above the floor. You can look to the opposite side to enhance the twist. Inhale and return to the start position and then twist to the other side. Stand against a corner of the wall so that you can feel your spine against the wall. Chin to chest, bend forward slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, and then reverse the motion. The last motion is to untuck your chin. This is not the yoga forward bend where you pivot from the hip. Yoga triangle pose involves twisting the lower spine. It activates your core muscles, which aids in balance and stability. It stretches and lengthens the spine and opens up the hips and shoulders. The bird dog pose helps to strengthen your lower back and core muscles that support the pelvis. Starting on hands and knees, keeping the shoulders square and face towards the floor. Lift one leg and the opposite arm straight into the air and hold for a couple of seconds. Make sure to keep the back and pelvis level while doing the exercise. Build up to repeat this stretch between 3 to 5 times on each side. Thank you for watching until the end. If you like this video, please click the like button. Please subscribe, share and comment. Please also hit the bell so that you will be notified of any new future video release. If you're interested in improving your health and fitness, and if you want to prevent lower back pain, please take a look at my book, which is now available from Amazon. Thank you.